This is Danny Gilfillan for Seconds Out. Take two at the No Limits Boxing Club here in Liverpool. It's a pleasure to be joined by light middleweight contender Caoimhin Agyarko. Caoimhin, as I said in the first take of this interview, it must be so nice for you getting back to a gym like this. Kids, just none of the nonsense in boxing, just young people with a passion for the sport and the dream. And as I'm sure you can attest to, the politics of boxing can be frightfully frustrating at times. So it must be nice now to sort of get back to what made you fall in love with the sport, places like this.
Yeah, it is. It's class. Good to see all the kids in here training on. Obviously, gyms like this take kids off the street and give them an opportunity and a path to go down. So yeah, it's great to see all the kids here, and it's good to be here to try and give back and kind of inspire them to do great things. It's like I do back home. I go back to Holy Trinity Boxing Club and try and give back. I always love being in the gym back in Holy Trinity, and I do kind of miss them amateur days. It's a lot different than the pro games. There's a lot less on your shoulders, you know what I mean? So it's good to be here.
Say, when you're home away from home, Liverpool, you've always maintained you're a proud Belfast man, a proud Irishman. How's a year down the stretch been in Liverpool at that Rotunda gym with Joe Mack, Declan O'Rourke? How do you feel you've improved as a fighter? I remember you said to me, the people from Liverpool are quite similar to Belfast, so you're enjoying life here in Liverpool.
Yeah, I'm loving life here in Liverpool. Like I said, it's very similar to Belfast. It just feels like home, but in terms of boxing and in the gym, it's been unreal. I'm learning every single day. I'm improving every single day, and I love being in the gym training with Joe and Dak. They're just bringing my game to another level. So yeah, it's unbelievable to be here training in Liverpool.
So you're here as a Matchroom, sort of giving back to the community thing to do with most fight weeks now. Main event Saturday night, Jack Catterall, Jorge Linares, big fight. Two very recognisable names in these shores. Going to put you on the spot. What's your prediction? How do you see it going?
I think Jack should win this stage of Linares' career. Jack should win. I think he beats him on points, but any shades of the old Linares, and I think Jack's in for a tough night. But yeah, I'm going to go for Jack on points.
How much do you think Linares has left at this stage?
Not too sure. We'll see Saturday night.
Someone who Jack knows very well, someone you also know very well for very different reasons, very different relationships, I'm sure, is Josh Taylor. Jack's made no secret he wants that rematch from the fight back in February last year. Josh has sort of, I'd say, give mixed signals at times about the rematch. Light welterweight's not been the easiest to cut for him. He said after the loss to Teofimo Lopez he wants to move up in weight. From being around Josh in the gym, what indications do you have around that second fight? How likely do you think it is the fans will see that?
I'm not too sure. I've never really spoke to Josh about the rematch. However, there was a stage last year or the start of this year where it was meant to happen. I know Josh picked up an injury, so I believe Josh is going to move up to welterweight. So unless Jack moves up, I don't know if it'll happen. But I think Josh would like the fight. He's always seemed to want the fight, to kind of put all the doubters to rest. I mean, he won the fight. Do you know what I mean? And he came out victorious. And people have their opinions. It was a close fight, but yeah, I'm not too sure if it'll happen.
How's Josh been since the loss to Teofimo back in June? Obviously, no shame losing in a fighter the calibre of Teofimo Lopez, but it's a fight he went in there as a favourite. It's the first loss of his professional career, and we've seen loads of examples in recent years of fighters who just haven't been able to get back since the loss, especially when they've achieved as much as Josh has and they're sort of used to being the man. How's he been in the gym? Have you noticed any change in him, and do you still see the sort of same hunger in Josh Taylor that got him the undisputed champion?
Oh, there's definitely the same hunger there. Josh trains like an animal, and he's an unbelievable talent, and his resume speaks for itself and what he's achieved. But listen, anyone who takes a loss at any stage of their careers is going to be upset and down for a while, but I don't think it's affected him too much. If anything, it's probably made him hungrier. He wants to go up and conquer welterweight, and I believe he'll do so.
Even on to yourself now, it's been a tumultuous sort of few months, I think it's fair to say. We've got the fight with Troy WIlliamson back on home shores, which I'm sure you're absolutely over the moon about, but it doesn't seem from the outside looking in to have been in the easiest fight to get to. There was a bit of a sort of, I don't want to say back and forth, but sort of you and Matchroom with sort of sub-tweets at each other. You wanted, I think, if my understanding's correct, to have an extra fight before the fight with Troy, and then Eddie's come out and said, he didn't name you as I say, but he said, these fighters, they want too many easy run-outs, and then within a couple of weeks the fight was signed. So just first of all, from your point of view, what was the story behind all that in terms of this fight sort of being off and on and the back and forth with Eddie?
I'll not get into it too much. I mean, no one called for an easy fight. I said I wanted someone in the top 10, top 15 in Europe, and then we move on to Troy WIlliamson. So I never, ever, ever turned down the Troy WIlliamson fight. That was off the basis that I didn't have the best of camps for the Grant Dennis. I came back way too soon after the injury to get on that card. I didn't want to miss the card in Dublin, and yeah, so I wasn't in full health for the card in Dublin. So I wanted another fight, a full camp with Joe and Deck, and then one more fight and then Troy. So I didn't ask for an easy fight. But listen, we are here now. The Troy's the next fight, and that's what I'm fully focused on.
With Eddie sort of going public the way he did you almost feel forced to take the fight? Did you feel sort of like put on blast in a way?
No, I never turned down the fight in the first place. So no disrespect to Troy WIlliamson, but if I can't beat Troy WIlliamson, then I won't reach what I want to achieve in the sport. I see that with any opponent. Do you know what I mean? I didn't feel forced at all. No. If so, I would have just turned the fight. If I didn't want the fight, I would have just turned the fight down regardless. Do you know what I mean? And went down a different avenue. But yeah, no, I didn't feel forced to take the fight. No.
Just on to the fight with Troy. Obviously, a very recognisable name to domestic boxing fans. Former British champion. The fight's in Belfast, which is something you've called for a long time. You must be absolutely buzzing for it.
Yeah, I'm over the moon to be fighting in Belfast against it's a 50-50 fight. Do you know what I mean? It's a fight that can really push me on in my career, and it's one that I'm taking very seriously and training harder than I ever have before. So yeah, I'm over the moon to be fighting back in Belfast on a massive card and a massive fight, so I'm looking forward to it.
As I say, the fight's in Belfast. Now you're a fighter, obviously you're with Frank, moved to Eddie. I don't think there's ever been any doubt about your talent. It's just been a matter of profile and building that fan base. Do you see this fight with Troy, who, as we say, a very recognisable name, and the fact it's the first Matchroom show in Belfast, and geez, God knows how long, is this the opportunity for you to start becoming a star, particularly back home, but in sort of UK boxing in general?
Yeah, definitely. This is the right platform and right fight for me to push on to that next level. Like I said, if I can go out and beat Troy WIlliamson, especially in dramatic fashion, then it gives me that platform to go back and headline shows in Belfast, what I've been wanting to do. And listen, I think everyone knows how good I am, but I've just got to go out there and show it against a live opponent like Troy WIlliamson.
Last thing I want to get your thoughts on, Caoimhin, and I almost feel embarrassed bringing it up, but it's been such a hot topic across social media, is this crossover boxing. We obviously saw the KSI Tommy Fury card. I think people were pretty displeased with what ended up happening in the ring. You know, it was a £20 pay-per-view, it was being billed as this, that. Just as a traditional boxer, someone who's boxed since, no age, what were your thoughts on it?
Let's call it combat sports, because it's not boxing, it's entertainment. I have no problem with people coming in and doing their own thing over there, but just let's not associate with boxing, calling out professional fighters. Someone will get hurt. I felt sorry for Tommy Fury. Let's not forget, Tommy is a professional boxer. I would say he's a novice pro, learning on the way. But I think I felt sorry for him because KSI didn't come to fight. He came to make it awkward, and I thought Tommy won the fight as much as he didn't box or perform to his best of ability. But I felt sorry for him because a lot of boxers, I said to my friends, I'd have probably struggled with KSI on the night because he was so awkward. Yeah, so it wasn't pleasing to watch, but it's entertainment, and all the people who follow YouTube and follow Lemons on YouTube will tune in to watch it. But let's not associate with boxing. Is
there a danger though? Obviously, it was on DAZN. That's the broadcaster you're affiliated with, and whilst the quality in the ring is subpar, it does huge numbers. So, is there a concern from your point of view as a fighter who's going to look to get TV dates and so on and so forth that these boys are generating big numbers, and DAZN could end up sort of prioritising that over the traditional code?
No, I don't think so. I think boxing, as long as you're in entertaining fights and there's an entertaining card on, I think boxing will always be at the level that it's at or higher. But like you said, the crossover boxing, combat sports, whatever you want to call it, is doing big numbers, so you can't fault. Do you know what I mean? It's business. It is what it is. It's business, and you can't fault DAZN for covering it because they're making a lot of money off it. So I understand the game. I understand the business side of it, and yeah, I hope it doesn't affect boxing in any way.
Caoimhin, thanks for giving me your time, mate. As a fellow Irishman, I'm buzzing for the card, the fight with Troy WIlliamson. All the best for it, and speak to you soon.
Cheers. Thank you very much, mate.